Hi everyone! So it's been a while since we've seen each other, and here we are learning from home and learning online. It is something that I'm unfamiliar with, and you're probably unfamiliar with as well, considering we're used to face-to-face learning inside of our classrooms. We're not able to do that now, so this will give us the opportunity to think outside of the box and think creatively in regards to learning. So it'll be a learning curve for all of us, but we'll be in this together and we will learn some cool things. So I wanted to introduce a lesson via video with you all, just as a helpful resource that you could watch and kind of see how I did this project. So this video will go along with the assignment on Schoology labeled Found Object Color Wheel. So that's what we're going to be learning about today. Your assignment requirements and directions will all be labeled and listed on Schoology, so you don't have to worry about taking notes during this video, although if you would like to, that's completely fine. I want to start by learning about the color wheel. So this is a color wheel. I know a few of my classes may be familiar with the color wheel already. Art 2, you definitely are familiar with it. We've learned extensively on that. Art 3 should be familiar with the color wheel. Ceramics class and textiles class, you all are probably less familiar with it. That's okay, because we're going to be learning about it today. I do have a color wheel hanging up behind me, and I apologize for the strange setup. We are in my living room. I don't have a desk area or an office area in my home to teach. I also ran out of ink on my printer, so I have notes of everything that I want to talk to you all about over here on my laptop. If you see me looking in this direction, that's what I'm doing, so I apologize. These are just some of the strange challenges that we face when we work from home unexpectedly, so bear with me. Let's go ahead and start talking about our project, the color wheel. So this is a color wheel. This was an assignment that Art 2 completed this semester, where they had to paint a color wheel, paint the tints and the shades, create black and brown, and they made this entire color wheel just from 3 colors of paint: red, blue, and yellow. So that was a pretty cool assignment. We can't talk about the color wheel without talking about color. So what is color? Color is an element of art that is derived from reflected light. So when we talk about elements of art, we're talking about line, shape, form, value, color, texture, and space. There's 7 elements of art. And these elements are used as building blocks to create an artwork. So whenever you see an interesting artwork and you may think, how did they even go about starting with that? Where did they even come up with an idea for that? They probably started with an element of art, just started with a line or a simple color or some type of value or a shape. Every artwork contains at least one element of art, and using different elements of art is what makes an artwork interesting. So you may ask, how exactly does an artist use the elements of art? And let me go through my notes here. So working as an artist is similar to being a chef cooking a meal. I found this analogy and I thought it would be helpful for you all to get an idea of the elements of art and how they're used. So a chef uses a list of ingredients combined together in certain amounts to produce a unique recipe. The artist uses these elements of art and combines them in different ways to create a unique artwork or a unique piece. Sometimes an artwork only contains 1 or 2 elements of art. Sometimes they have all of the elements of art. So one thing is certain, there's absolutely no artwork in the world without an element of art in it. So elements of art is something you have to learn whenever you're in art classes. Like I said, it's the building blocks of an artwork. These are things that you have to use to create an artwork. You can't create an artwork without the elements of art. So that's kind of how they're used. They're used as basic building blocks, and I know that we keep discussing that, but that's an important thing to understand. You build an artwork up using these elements. So Color is an element of art. It's derived from, it's derived from reflected light. So a color wheel is a chart that shows the relationships of colors to one another. So it's a chart. It shows the relationships of colors to one another. What that means is red, yellow, blue. These are our primary colors. These are 3 colors from which all other colors can be created. So when Art 2 was making these color wheels, and I hope that you can see it, when they were making these color wheels, they only used 3 colors, red, yellow, blue. They're primary colors. Secondary colors are colors that are created from mixing primary colors together. So you mix red and yellow to create orange, a secondary color. You mix red and blue to create violet, a secondary color. And you mix yellow and blue to create green, which is a secondary color. There's a third category of colors called tertiary colors, and these are created by mixing a secondary color like green with a primary color like yellow, so you would get yellow-green. Mixing a primary color like yellow with a secondary color like orange, you would get yellow-orange. Mixing primary red with secondary violet, you would get red-violet. So on and so forth. You all get the idea. So today, what I want you all to focus on is your primary colors, which are red, yellow, blue, and your secondary colors, which are green, orange, and violet, or purple. It's technically violet though, so we try to use that term. Don't worry about the tertiary colors for this project. If we need to, we can dive more into the color wheel and learn about the tertiary colors. But for today, let's focus on primary colors and secondary colors. So your primary, red, blue, yellow, and secondary, orange, violet, green. So, I'll let you all check out this color wheel really quickly. This one does contain the pure color, which is on the outside, a tint, which is that color mixed with white, and then the shade, which is the darker version of the color, which would be mixed using the complement. We're not going to get into color schemes like complement, warm, cool, analogous, all of those things that we could learn about and Art 2 has learned about, but we're just going to discuss the basic color wheel, primary colors, and secondary colors. So I want to go ahead and introduce your art project to you all. I actually have completed this art project, and I have a great example of what I'm looking for you all over here in my apartment floor. So I'm going to pick up the camera and move over to the example that I have created for you all. This is what I'm asking you to complete. So give me 1 second as we move over. All right, so what I'm asking you all to do at home is to create a color wheel using primary colors and secondary colors. So there are a few requirements for this project, and like I said, this assignment, the requirements and the directions will be listed on Schoology under the assignment labeled Found Object Color Wheel. So I want to introduce a few of the requirements to you all. So one of the requirements is that you design a color wheel using objects that you find at home. So anything that you can find at home that is one of these colors. You must include primary colors. So you must have the color red, yellow, and blue in your color wheel. And you must have secondary colors. You must have the colors orange, green, and violet in your color wheel. Those are the only colors. There are 6 of them. Red, blue, yellow, orange, green, violet. Those must be included in your color wheel. And you must have a minimum of 2 objects in each color. So, for example, you must have at least 2 red objects, at least 2 orange objects, at least 2 yellow objects, so on and so forth. So a minimum of 12 objects total in your color wheel 2 objects for each color. You can add as many objects as you would like. I encourage you all to add as many objects as you can find to create a really creative and fun color wheel. I clearly used multiple in every one of the colors. Use as many as you can find, but if you can't find anything, 2 is sufficient. That is the minimum requirement. So I want to zoom in and show you all up close the color wheel, just kind of some of the objects that I used. So starting with our primary color, which is red, I used an apple, scissors, tape, my fiance's deodorant, I have hand sanitizer, a K-cup, I had this bow from Christmas time, pens, paint. This is just some of the wax scented melts that go in your wax warmer. And then my oven mitt. Of course, we have apples. I'm not sure if I said that already. In orange, I had Reese cups, Sharpie highlighter, Post-it notes. I had this makeup brush, these orange shoes, some cough drops. I even found these like, oh, let me grab it. These like duck sauces that I've had for whatever reason from the Chinese restaurant. And a bag of Chex Mix. In yellow, I have our cleaning supplies, some mustard, a cup. This is like an ice maker, a USB flash drive, chapstick, bananas, of course. For green, some more Chex Mix, green tea. I have my fiance's Xbox games over here. Some hair stuff. This was from St. Patrick's Day. Candy. This little like spray bottle. And as you can see, it doesn't have to be completely green. I mean, if it's in that tone, like this game, for example, or this can of corn, for example, if it's pretty close enough, go ahead and add it in there, because once all of the things are together, everything in that color, it makes for a pretty interesting, you know, group. So moving on to blue, I have yarn, Kraft mac and cheese, some toner, paprika, just a seasoning that it's dark blue, it kind of looks black on camera, some earrings, pens. I have a Tupperware. I mean, it was blue, so I threw it in here. For purple, I think you're upside down. I have body spray, scissors, nail polish, some Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A, a blow pop, toothpaste, pine salt, and then all of these random objects together create a color wheel. Make sure that your color wheel is in order. So primary colors, red, yellow, blue across from each other in a triangle. And then secondary colors, orange, purple, green across from each other in a triangle. If that doesn't make sense, red and yellow, primary colors mixed together to create orange. Yellow and blue primary colors mixed together to create green. Blue and red primary colors mixed together to create purple. Hopefully that helps you understand the color wheel a little bit more. I will have an example of color wheel posted to Schoology so that you don't have to look anything up. And like I said, get creative with this. Think outside of the box. Anything that you can find in your home to create this. Excuse my little toes there. I thought that this was a fun project that you could complete at home. It took me probably 30 to 40 minutes to put together all of these objects, but clearly I have a lot in each column. I think that this is a fun and creative project that you all can do, so have fun with it. Get on Schoology, look at the assignment, take a photo once you're done, take 1 or 2 photos of your color wheel, submit it to Schoology, and give me a brief description of the objects that you used for each color. You all have fun with this. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you all in a few days with another video.